Utah leading the Houston Aeros by a score of 1-0. 5:24 to go. Sylvain, Turgeon looking on. There's a good look at the Aero bench. Pete Deneen in the background of Steve Sumner, the equipment manager. Pete Deneen running the defense. He'll put out the defensive pairs. And done a good job with Dave Tippett. Deneen really with... you don't want to say he doesn't have any coaching experience because he's been on the bench before. In fact, I think when he played at Adirondack, I think he saw some time on the bench to help out the Adirondack team in the AHL.
And someone with just his experience in general would have a pretty darn good idea of what to do anyways.
Yeah, exactly. Here's the puck taken in by the Grizzlies, and we're going to get a penalty to the Houston Aeros. Delayed call. Here's a chance now. Controlled. It was sent in front. Finally, Turgeon plays it, and it's out of play. Let's take a quick timeout. It's 1-0 Utah. Back with a power play right after this. Back in the Delta Center, and a face-off coming up as we take a look at the next telecast. January 27th, the Aeros and the Utah Spiders. Yeah, it's that kind of night, Greener. The San Francisco Spiders at 8 o'clock from the Cow Palace. Maybe they'll just lock me up in there tonight. Wow. Puck is controlled by the Grizzlies. They've got 1:39 left on the power play. Here is Deneen. And it's shot ahead, Herter, but it's taken away. Conroy had a marvelous chance, and he overskated the puck. Herter flipped one ahead for Panteleev. Brought it across the line, and it was cleared by Krupke and out at center. Aeros making changes. Deneen worked one ahead for Aivazoff. That was chipped away out at center. And back to play it are the Utah Grizzlies. Here's Andrei Vasilyev. He'll turn it center ice, bring it across the line. Vasilyev trying to cut in. He was bumped by Hurd, but it's ripped to the line and right out at center ice. Third power play of the night for Utah. They lead it 1-0. 4 minutes to go in the period. Here is Brent Lievers across the line. Give it to Panteleev, moving down the right side. He was crushed by Arniel. Lievers has it. We've got a penalty coming up as Lievers took a shot. Stopped by Sjerven. Another shot went wide, and we're going to get a two-man advantage for the Utah Grizzlies here.
Utah Grizzlies they'll have a two-man advantage for 43 seconds as the Aeros take another penalty in their own zone. I think it's going to be Miles O'Connor going to the box for the Aeros, and it's for elbowing. So the Aeros will have to kill off a 5-on-3. Utah Grizzlies are 10th in the league on the power play at 17.6%. But the Aeros have done a pretty darn good job so far killing it off. They've forced a lot, and that's one thing I liked about the Las Vegas Thunder is they forced all over the place on the ice on the penalty kill, and that didn't allow the team to set up.
Time for tonight's first period shots on goal. They're sponsored by High-Low Auto Parts. You can get an auto part anywhere, but what you need is High-Low, and the shots are 7-6 in favor of the Houston Aeros. And the face-off to the left side of Grant Sjerven. Conroy against Brent Lievers. Big chance here now for Utah. Aeros need to dig down deep and kill off this two-man disadvantage. Sticks down. Lever wins the draw. Back to the line. Beers for Ignatjev. 40 seconds left on the two-man advantage. Here's Vasilyev. Back to the line for Ignatjev. To Bob Beers. Winds it down for Taylor to the line. Beers shoots. Sjerven kicked that out of there. Here is Ignatjev again for Beers. Back to Ignatjev. Winding, faking, now looking down. Gives it to Beers. Cuts it down. Here's a chance for Taylor wanting to work it in. Can't get it in front. Now the shot by Beers went off skates. It's wide. 15 seconds left in the two-man advantage. Victor Ignatjev for Bob Beers. Slides it down. Taylor sent it in front. Great play by Krupke, but the puck was jammed in behind Sjerven's score. And it's before the two-man advantage, and it is now 2-0 Utah.
Andrei Vasilyev with his 20th of the season, and it's a backdoor play. Krupke made a great defensive play on this one, and Sjerven tried to grab it, but somehow it squeezed through. You'll see the puck on the side of the net. It's passed across. Krupke grabs it, but somehow it squirts through. Krupke and Sjerven not been able to coordinate there as the puck gets blocked and then gets through somehow. I think, you know what happened on that one? I think it was Chris Taylor who jammed it after he made the pass. He gets the puck here, passes it across, and Krupke has it, but Chris Taylor jams it again, and then it comes loose. Vasilyev gets an easy goal on the 5-on-3, and now it's still a 5-on-4 because they scored that before the first power play was over.
Here come the Utah Grizzlies. Taylor across the line. Dropped it for Lievers. That's worked away by Lamb and shot the length of the ice. Minute 5 remaining in the Miles O'Connor penalty. Here is the puck for Beers. He'll move it up ice. Beers through the neutral zone for Lievers. Tipped away by Marc Lamb and shot all the way down the ice. McLennan comes out to slow. And it's Victor Ignatjev that will play it. Ignatjev fires one up the left side. And here is Chris Taylor. Taylor across the line trying to move one in. Here's Archibald. The shot that went wide of the net. Neal pushed it back to the line. Archibald right point. Cuts one over to the left side for Ignatjev. Trying to move it through Freer. It went down low. Here's a chance in front, but Taylor couldn't get the shot away. Now and back into the corner for Taylor. Run into by Kevin Grant. Down to the corner, it was Alan May. Trying to move one out in front. Arniel was there. And he'll move to center ice. Aeros have a 3-on-2. Short-handed. Laniel across the line. Dropped it for Freer. Freer's got Arniel in front, but it was swept away by Ignatjev. Under 2 minutes to go in the first. 2-0 Utah. Here's a pass at center ice. It is controlled by the Grizzlies' Barry Nieckar. It goes into the Aeros zone. Near side, Arniel trying to move it. A penalty is over to Miles O'Connor. Teams back at even strength. 5 aside. Puck in the corner to the left of Sjerven. Battle near side. It came back. May the drive. Ricochet out in front. And O'Connor is there, and he'll move it up ice. Miles O'Connor through the neutral zone. Dumps the puck in, and the Aeros can make their changes. 1.5 to go in the first. 2-0 Utah. Here comes Jason Herter across the Aero blue line. Herter steers one down. Came to the far boards for Barry Nieckar. Looks in front for Panteleev. Panteleev's got it. Base left circle. Center. Poke checked away by Sjerven. And here is Conroy. Conroy moves through the neutral zone. Trying to hit the line. It was worked down, and McLennan will scoop it up, and then he will hold on as Hurd was right there in front. And there is 1:05 remaining in the first. 2-0 Utah.
So late in this first period, the Aeros are trying to get some kind of pressure on McLennan. Some more shots. Yo had a great chance earlier in the period on the power, or sorry, it wasn't on the power play, but it was earlier in the period and couldn't bang it home as McLennan made a great save. And then the Utah Grizzlies came back with that 5-on-3 and scored. It's 2-0.
Fans at Super Bowl Wednesday with the Houston Aeros bring a minimum of 2 soup cans to the Aeros game on January 24th and receive two $10 tickets for the price of 1. Soup will be collected all day at the Summit box office beginning at 10 a.m. All proceeds benefit the Star of Hope mission. Puck in the Utah zone. Conroy far side. Yo down to the final minute. Here's the puck rolled in behind for Conroy. Conroy base to the left circle. Looks in front. Tipped it for Hurd. Knocked away, and Panteleev sends a pass out to center, and Vasilyev will just gently roll it down, and the Aeros will go back to play it. Here's Steve Jenks. Long pass misses Lamb, misses everybody. This will be icing as Todd Copeland goes back. He will play it. And the face-off will come back down into the Houston Aeros zone. 35 seconds to go in the first. 2-0 Grizzlies. You know what? That's where I'm doing the game in the second intermission. Second period, actually.
Adam, I don't know how good you'll look in your suit sitting in there, but you can give it a try.
I'm doing it from there. Sorry.
I don't know.
I'm kicking them out, and I'm going to have that to myself. I'm going to have margaritas brought down, and I'm going to do the game from there.
Do a few laps.
In the hot tub. All right. Face off to the left side of Grant Sjerven. And it is Freer. Back to the line, Dineen. Here's Todd Copeland. The shot line on, and Sjerven makes the save. And it's picked up by Lamb. He'll move to center ice. Lamb across the line. He was crushed off the puck by Dineen. Flipped away by McLennan. Freer in the corner. Dumped in there by Aivazoff. They go at it in the corner. Aivazoff fighting for it with Marc Freer. Good battle in the boards now as Aivazoff and Freer continue to go at it. Freer trying to dig it out in the corner. And it's picked up by Arniel. Got it back to the line for O'Connor. Backhander stopped by McLennan. He will hold on, and we've got a penalty coming up with 2 seconds remaining in the period. It is going to be a hold, and I think the Aeros are going to have a power play here.
Well, it's a good thing, and as the Aeros are putting on more pressure, they're going to get more calls. As they break down into the zone, it looks like Aivazoff is going to get a penalty, and it might even have been on Marc Freer. Him and Marc Freer were working pretty hard together in the corner there. And it's going to be a holding call against Aivazoff. He'll just go right off the ice because there's only 2.6 seconds remaining in the first period. But the Aeros will come back out unless they score right here with the power play and try and get themselves back into this game. They played a pretty solid first period. Just a couple of things happened, and they weren't able to. But you see Freer and Aivazoff working hard in the corner, both of them going down. Eventually they'll get up. The puck will go out front, and as they keep battling, Freer will probably try and get back to the front of the net. Aivazoff will haul him down and not allow him to get free, and that would result in the penalty. And the Aeros are on the power play.
2 seconds left. Would you pull Grant Sjerven maybe?
Well, it's I guess a risky move at 2.6 seconds. If they win the draw straight to the defenseman or right to the winger, he could bat it all the way down to the ice. There is enough time, and I don't think they're at a point in the game where they really need to do that right now. But some coaches would. Some coaches would take that chance and pull the goalie right now for maybe a little bit of a bombardment with 2.6 seconds left.
Yeah. You know, you got Al Conroy, and you could have always had Marc Lam out there. Yo's going to take the face-off now after Conroy's out there. Just like playing with some ideas. Got to clear the smoke from my head every once in a while. Yo trying to win the draw away from Dave Archibald. They're down, ready, and Archibald wins the draw, and that's going to be the period. Horn sounds, and we're through with the first 20 minutes of action. Not the start the Houston Aeros were looking for. They trailed 2-0 after 20 minutes of action, but when they resume play in the second period, they will have 1:57 of a power play. When we return, we'll have more from the Delta Center back after this. Welcome back, everybody, to the Delta Center, Salt Lake City, Utah. It is a 2-0 hockey game in favor of the Utah Grizzlies. Well, it was a big weekend of hockey at the Summit last week, the IHL All-Star Weekend. A lot of great things going on, including the former Houston Aeros that had a chance to play against the former Team USA, the 1980 gold medal Olympic winning team. And our UPN cameras were down and had a chance to talk with some of the guys and find out what they thought of the weekend.
Well, I don't know whether it's describable, really. You know, last night we just didn't know where to start. We were talking to everybody about, you know, reminiscing all the old times. And, I mean, you could spend a month and a half doing it because there's so much history there.
It's been fun meeting the guys, and that's why we all came back. We haven't seen each other, a lot of us, for 18 years. And thanks to the IHL for putting this on. It's provided us with an opportunity to get together at least one more time, and it's been fabulous.
Stoney, what's it like coming back here, seeing all your old buddies?
Oh, it's great, Barry. I mean, we were treated so well here in Houston. Like, you know, they have nothing but great memories here. Yeah.
What was it like playing down at the old Coliseum?
Well, that was an experience. Yeah, yeah. Although, you know, we had a pretty good team in those days and stuff, though. But yeah. But, you know, it was nice making the move to the Summit, Barry. But, yeah, that was, like, we played in all kinds of rinks. Like, in the, you know, first year in World Hockey, we just had to do that. So we, you know, we realized that. Yeah.
Rev, what's it like once again being a Houston Aero?
It's wonderful. We had a little practice. There was 4 of us that came over, and we skated out on the Summit ice, and it was just, it was like we had never left. It was wonderful.
Now, we saw you several times when we were up in Denver. What was it like for you when you saw a team wearing an Aeros sweater once again?
Well, they had the Aeros name. I wish they had the old Aero logo and the colors, but I understand that they have a great logo here in Houston now, and it's great to see the name and hockey back in Houston.
Feels pretty good, Barry. Not only to be back here, but to be back with the people that I was involved with from a hockey standpoint, and especially the players, you know. And we've always had a special place in our hearts for each other, you know, on that particular team that we had here from 72 through 78 for 6 years, and great memories and a great bunch of guys. I've been in hockey for 40 years, and I've never seen a bunch of guys that got along so well together and played so hard, and credit to them.
What's it like sitting here and dressing and looking around the room with guys like Muzz and Stoney and all these guys who you broke into hockey with?
Just nostalgic. You know, the funny part about it is that they're showing me pictures of their grandkids. I can't comprehend that in my mind. They're showing me pictures of their grandkids. It's great. It's absolutely fantastic. I thank the organization for bringing them in, for us to have an opportunity to see them. I think the people to appreciate what they did do a long time ago. Glenn Hurd for putting the team together to begin with to bring them down here. If it wasn't for him, we wouldn't have had hockey to begin with down here in Houston, and he's really a guy to thank also. But it's a fantastic feeling.
Was it emotional when you saw the Fox?
I always loved the Fox. Through thick and thin, he was always there for me. And you know, when you're loyal to a person, the loyalty is always in return back to him. And no matter what happened, what they say, I'll always stick up for Foxy. I'll always be behind him no matter what happens with him. and I think he's one of the greatest people I've ever met.
Was the Popeil brothers. Is this a double special reunion for you, Pope?
It is for me. It's a treat to get back again. I haven't seen him in quite a while, so this is a good reunion for us.
You know, he's been playing hockey with me out at the old rink.
Well, I expect him to carry us. He's going to get the puck all night.
Jan, you've been serious about this, haven't you?
When they said they were going to have the reunion, I figured I better get in shape because some of the fellas had played, and that I felt I didn't want to get out of shape.
It's been that long, 15 years since I've seen him, and that brings back a lot of memories. Last night at the commissioners get-together was real interesting. We got to chat for, a couple hours and get some team pictures and throw around some old stories. But it's pretty nostalgic, Barry. Really fun deal for us.
It is 2-0 in favor of the Utah Grizzlies. When Greener and I return, we'll look at the scoring summary as well as highlights. We're back right after this. Welcome back to the Delta Center, everybody. Adam Gordon along with Mike Greenley, a 2-0 hockey game in favor of the Utah Grizzlies. And, well, I'll tell you, it surprised me in the start the Houston Aeros had. They really didn't get off to that great start. It seemed like they kind of fell behind when they got that goal given up early, eh?
Yeah. Well, the thing is that you look at the 2 goals that were scored. One was just a great pass. It beat the defenseman, came down on a breakaway and scored. And the second one was a 5-on-3. So the Aeros played a good period. It just that 2 things cost them, and they're going to have to fight back now.
All right, and then the other thing you look at for the Houston Aeros is Grant Sjerven. I don't think really you can fault him too much on those 2 goals.
Well, on the first one, it's a breakaway, and I guess that's one of the ones that got away. And the second one, like I said, 5-on-3. Gord Krupke made a great defensive play, but Taylor made a good offensive play by jamming the puck and allowing Vasilyev to jam it in the open side.
All right, let's go right to the scoring summary. And the Grizzlies got on the board first. Grigori Panteleev at 2:01 made it 1-0. Chris Taylor got the only assist. That was on that breakaway goal. And then on a 2-man advantage, a power play goal, Andrei Vasilyev from Bob Beers and Chris Taylor. And it is a 2-0 hockey. What minor changes do you think Dave Tippett's going to tell him in the locker room?
Well, you just got to watch for those big wide open passes. They tried that a couple times that period, so you just got to watch for some of those sneaky plays.
All right, it is 2-0 in favor of the Utah Grizzlies. When we return, we'll have highlights next. Back after this. Back in the Delta Center, Adam Gordon along with Mike Greenley. It is 2-0 in favor of the Utah Grizzlies, and let's go right to the highlights as Chris Taylor springing Panteleev nicely to get it started.
It was, and it was early, the kind of goal that Utah wanted. Panteleev gets the puck right before the blue line. He just goes in on a breakaway. He makes a very good shot. He had to beat Sjerven under the arm, far side, and he does so. That gives Utah Grizzlies a 1-0 lead. Panteleev from Taylor, but right after that, the Aeros find themselves short, 5-on-3. Taylor again feeds it across. Krupke makes a great defensive play, but Taylor comes in nicely and jams the puck loose for jams the puck loose, and they jam it home, and Vasilyev gets his 20th the year.
Taylor's one of those guys. As Chris Taylor goes, so do the Utah Grizzlies. Take a look at the first period stats brought to you by your local Chrysler Plymouth dealers. 11-9 shots on goal in favor of Utah. The faceoffs, Utah 12, Houston 9. Both teams 3 penalties for 6 minutes. The Aeros will have 157 of a power play when we resume action in the second period. And Greener, with that second period coming up, I think the Aeros probably could use a goal in the first couple of minutes, maybe even on that power play.
Well, it certainly will help. They're running into a referee that's going to call everything. Sometimes you run into a referee that doesn't call very much, so they're going to have to be disciplined as well.
What about aggressiveness tonight?
Well, definitely have to hit a team like this because they're obviously very talented, and they obviously can pick you apart. They're going to have to lay the body on everyone like they have been, and it's helped them be successful.
You know, the thing that really amazes me about the Utah Grizzlies, we talked about they were without Nicholas Anderson, Dan Cole, their 2 top scorers. Tommy Sallow's not here. Here's a guy that in his last 2 games, the last time these 2 teams played, and then back when they were the Denver Grizzlies, he's pitched 120 straight minutes without allowing a Houston Aero goal. And by the way, Andy Brickley's injured, and yet they're still a terrific hockey club.
Well, like I said earlier, they're very deep in talent, and that's what helps them right now. They come into this game winning 3 in a row.
All right, when we return, second period action. It's the Grizzlies 2, the Aeros no score. Back after this. Back in Salt Lake City, Utah, the Grizzlies leading by a score of 2-0. And you know what? I'm thinking maybe you and I mean, look at the hot tub there. I think we should all be down in there. What do you say, Greener? Look at how many.
I'm married, and if I jumped in there, there wouldn't be any water left, but go ahead. Go ahead.
You're not going to join me for some great hockey. They have, I understand they've got some wine down there and a little cheese and crackers for you.
Well, they're doing a good job here. Last time Salt Lake had a team, obviously it was the Salt Lake City Golden Eagles, and they were the Calgary Flames farm team, and now they have a team back here again, so they're pulling out all the stops, doing some different promotions. It's good to see.
David Elmore, the CEO of this hockey club, what a job he's had to do when you think about winning the Turner Cup in Denver, and really I think he set the groundwork for hockey in Denver as far as the Colorado.
No doubt about it. They really brought hockey back to that town.
And then the NHL comes in and kind of flushes them out. So they come here and they, no doubt about it, have had their work cut out for them because this is definitely the Utah Jazz country out here. They love their basketball. But I think with the type of marketing that they have done, and of course Butch Goring has done a terrific job with this hockey. I mean, he's brought the winner right here. They've taken over where they left off from last year. They're going to bring the fans in here, I think, threefold as time goes on. And I do want to mention one thing. A lot of people look at the Utah Grizzlies being behind the Las Vegas Thunder and saying, well, they're not as good as last year. Do you realize, Greener, that actually at this point last year, their record is better now?
Yeah, they've, well, you know, sometimes it's deceiving, and they've done a good job on the ice and off the ice, and they're averaging something like over 7,000 a game. So doing a good job on the marketing side and doing a good job on the hockey side. The Aeros have played a good first period, find themselves down 2-0, but have a chance to get back into this one. And they have a power play with 1:57 remaining on it. The Aeros trying to get back into this hockey game.
Face-off at center ice. Conroy will take the draw. He's out there with Micah and Sylvain Turgeon. Hurlbut and Lamb defensively. As we get ready, Conroy against Chris Taylor. Drop of the puck. It is controlled by Turgeon. Worked it back into his own end for Marc Lamb, and Lamb will head in behind the net and start the breakout. Here comes Lamb. He'll bust it up and out of the zone as the Aeros down 2-0 to start the second period. Lamb across the line. He'll hold it at a right point, turn it down low for Yo, but that was blocked and turned away by the Grizzlies and shot the length of the ice. Sjerven will slow, and he will leave it for the first man back. That's Mike Hurlbut. 1:35 remaining in the Houston Aeros. Rip it into the Utah zone. Conroy wanted to come up with it, but it's picked up by Todd Copeland. Takes a bump from Turgeon. Into the corner for Chris Taylor. Can he clear it? No. Yo knocked it free. Give it to Turgeon. Center for Conroy. Winds back to the line. Here's Hurlbut the drive. Spanked just wide. Here's Yo again. Center. Turgeon the shot. Right bad. Kick save made by McLennan. Wow. Here's the shot again. And I think that was turned away from Yo by McLennan. Here's the puck into the corner for Turgeon. Sylvain Turgeon right side. Turgeon getting set. Waiting. Back to the line. Here's Hurlbut. Turns it down. Here's a centering pass. Stop. Rebound. And Gordon cleared it from harm's way. And then covering up is Chris Taylor. And play is whistled down. 49 seconds remaining in the power play for Houston. 18:47 to go in the second period. 2-0 Utah. Let's go on to Rob Dobson. Dobber, what was discussed in the locker room coming prior to the second period?
Well, you know, a couple of things that we were doing, Adam, is we were losing the little battles. And I think it came down to more or less just having to work harder. And, you know, I think so far into the period, we had a great opportunity to come in on the power play, get some scoring chances, what we just had there. Unfortunately, you know, McLennan made a good toe save there, and you know, I thought Lammer got hauled down a bit on that play, but it all comes down to hard work, and if you can start to win the little battles, as we've always said, we'll win the war. And I think in that first period we just kind of got away from trying kind of getting outworked.
Here's Miles O'Connor. Thanks, Dauber. O'Connor to the right side to Vadim Slivchenko. Worked it down. Here's Freer. Cuts in. Centered. Boy, that's a great defensive play in front by Ignatjev. Now Slivchenko again for Freer. Centered for Townshend. Blocked again by Ignatjev. Slivchenko right side. Getting set on the power play. Slivchenko looks in front, turns it right in front, but it was worked right to Brett Lievers and cleared to the line and out at center ice. Power play down to 20 seconds. O'Connor. He'll turn in his own zone. Miles O'Connor fired it to Laniel. He'll go back as he's forechecked by Lievers. You know, it's funny, we talked about Tommy Salo in the 120 shutout minutes throughout the first 20 minutes of this hockey game as well. And now it's 140 minutes as the Aeros are offside.
Except it's a different goaltender as McLennan's picking up where Salo left off. and he's made a couple really good saves earlier on, and he made a couple good ones right now on the power play, and the Aeros trying to feed it in front and jam it home, but McLennan getting his toes on them.
Yeah, Jamie McLennan, and if you're Jamie McLennan and or Tommy Salo, it must be nice when you look at the defense that's being played in front of you. I thought Victor Ignatjev makes a couple of key plays in front there, and just when you look at Gordon in front of you, when you got Rod Miller, when he's back healthy, Brad Miller, the defensemen that they have, I mean, if you're Jamie McLennan and Tommy Salo, you just got to be pleased as pie to have the way you're playing and have the team in front of you.
It certainly is a comforting feeling for our goaltender, as it is right now for the goaltenders for the Houston Aeros. They're looking at their defense and their defensive play as a team, and they're talking about it being a lot easier to play because you know where everyone's going to be.
Puck is shot the length of the ice. The power play is now over, and teams are at 5 aside. Here's Mike Hurlbutt turning it behind the net. Hurlbutt jammed a pass out at center, but the Grizzlies are there. Lead pass controlled by Taylor, runs it into the Aeros zone, and Sjerven slows it. And it's Mike Hurlbutt, 2-0 Utah. And the Aeros trying to break out with it, cannot do it. Here is Gord Krupke turning in his own end behind the net. Krupke fired at far side from Mike Yeo, trying to move it through the check of Jason Herter. Herter had fallen on top of the puck. Jake's trying to, or make that Hurlbutt trying to fire him off the puck. It's gobbled up by Vasilyev. He's jammed in there by Krupke. They continue to battle for it. Vasilyev gives to Taylor. Here's Chris Taylor right side, trying to get through the check of Kelly Hurd. Taylor walks in, lost the puck. Conroy's there, and he will move it up the left wing boards and out at center ice. Here come the Grizzlies. Rod Miller fired one ahead for Taylor. Taylor fell. Miller trying to advance it. Yo knocked it away, and he'll shoot it ahead, but back to play it. Jason Herter. They are just a sound defensive hockey club, the Grizzlies are. Puck is down. Sjerven plays the puck. Here's Conroy. Slides one to center ice for Yo, but 3 men are back for Utah, and Yo just opts to dump it in. McLennan slows behind the net. It is Gord Dineen. Slides one to center. Went through Panteleev. Arniel is there, and he'll hoist it into the Utah zone. Copeland back to play it. Todd Copeland in behind his net as the Aeros playing peekaboo with a couple of guys, Slivchenko and Freer. Copeland just waiting. He'll send one to the near side for Brett Lievers, and the Grizzlies will break out with it. A pass knocked away, though, and Arniel is there left side. Trying to bring the puck ahead for Slivchenko. Too far for Freer, and the Grizzlies are back. 16:10 to go, second period, 2-0 Utah. Here's Barry Nieckar at center ice. Nieckar fired it into the Aeros zone. Jakes pushed it away. Now it is Slivchenko. Slivchenko turning in his own end. He'll move it up the left side, and here come the Houston Aeros left to right. Slivchenko pushed off the puck by Copeland. The Grizzlies clear it once again. Laniel in his own, or at center ice rather, brings the puck into the Utah zone. And back to play. Copeland, he didn't have a stick, so Gord Dineen had to take over. Fired it off the glass. That'll go down the ice, and this will be icing. And we will take the timeout as Turgeon back to play it. It is going to be an icing call. 2-0 Utah. We will be right back after this. Grizzlies continue to lead the Houston Aeros by a score of 2-0. Shots are now 11-10 in favor of Utah. 15:37 to play in the second period, and a face-off to the right side of McLennan. Aeros win the draw. Here's a shot right on, blocked though, and Dave Archibald will bring it ahead. Archibald looking for Robert Desmay, but he'll work it into the Aeros zone, and Kevin Grant goes back to play it. Grant in behind the cage to the far side. Turgeon snapped it the length of the ice. Lamb pursues, but I think Ignatjev is going to beat him to the puck, and that will be an icing call on the Houston Aeros. So 15:17 to go in the second period, 2-0 Utah. Tonight after the game, a mystical sword holds the keys to a kingdom as Nigel Terry and Nicholas Clay star in Excalibur. It's later this evening on UPN 20. Face-off brought back into the zone. The left of Grant Sjerven, Dave Tippett wondering if Sjerven can get some offensive help up front. The Aeros trying to get a goal on the board here and maybe get themselves a lift here. Not a lot of jump in this hockey game for them yet. Al Conroy fired the puck into the Utah zone. Out of the net, Jamie McLennan ripped it along the boards. Malgunas bumped in by Archibald. Grant held it in. Here's Turgeon winding, shooting, and right on McLennan the same. He'll pop that away. Archibald trying to work it away, but it was Marc Lamb. He centered. Turgeon had it, but lost it. Malgunas ripped the shot. Blocker saved by McLennan, and it was cleared down the ice by Micah Aivazoff. So the Aeros at least are getting some chances. They tried it on the power play, but McLennan stoned them, and they have a chance there, and McLennan once again is up to the task.
Well, Turgeon had a good chance right away. He flipped around and took a good shot, and Turgeon had a three-game goal streak snapped last game, but he gets a good hard shot, and McLennan bats it out of the air to clear it away. After that, Malgunas had a chance, and once again, McLennan made a blocker save. So I think the Aeros are going to have to get some more chances like that, except they're going to have to get a few more bodies in front to screen McLennan, because if he can see it, he'll probably stop it.
Off the face-off, it's Jason Herter. He'll run a pass to the far side for Grigori. Panteleev worked it in toward the Aero zone. Hurlbutt rejected it, but gobbled up again by Herter. Slides it ahead for Taylor. That is offsides. And the face-off will be back to center now. Conroy giving it to Panteleev. They look at each other. So Al Conroy, thinking he's Julia Child. Let's stir things up a little bit here and mend a need, and maybe we can jostle him a little bit.
Speaking of stirring things up, you know, there's been a lot of rumors lately, and I guess we addressed them a little bit about Troy Gamble, the trade rumors and everything, and we did mention that he probably would play last night to, you know, showcase him to Las Vegas. A lot of people thought that that's why he would play last night. He did play last night, played excellent, 39 saves on the night, and you know, but the thing is, Las Vegas just got a goalie yesterday, and that is Jim Rivnak. So any trade rumors to that, I guess, to that side is temporarily dismantled.
Yes, here's Lievers, a shot and a glove save made by Brant Sjerven. For the time being, they're squelched, if you will. Here is Yo.
The thing is, I was talking to Gamble, and he said it was a lot easier to play with the way the Aeros are playing defensively. All the shots were coming from the outside, and even though he had a lot of saves to make, it was easier to do so.
Grizzlies trying to clear the puck. It's worked ahead by Jason Herter. And through the neutral zone they come. It's into Aero territory. Krupke goes back to play. Krupke fired it over to Hurlbutt. Wrapped up by Alan May. Cleared to the line, and it'll go the length of the ice. Gord Dineen could not get there. Dineen hustles back to play. Here is Dineen turning in his own zone. Fired a pass, the length of the ice. This will be icing as Houston will go back, and it is Jakes that's got it, and we'll take timeout. 13:40 to go in the second period. It's the Grizzlies 2, the Aeros no score. Back right after this. Hey baby, it's a 2-0 hockey game. Welcome back to the Delta Center, and 13:40 to go. And a face-off to the left side of Jamie McLennan. Freer, Slivchenko, Arniel with Laniel and Jakes. Aeros have gotten to Jamie McLennan a little bit here as far as chances are concerned, but they haven't been able to tickle the twine, if you will. Here's the puck control by Beers, trying to clear the zone. Beers worked on by Slivchenko, who takes the puck loose. Slivchenko, nice move, cuts in, centered, knocked away. Back Jakes trying to pinch in there, but he was wrestled off by Vasilyev. Here's Slivchenko, dropped at Laniel, hooks a pass down for Freer behind the net. He had Arniel in front, but couldn't get it to him. Taken by Utah, cleared to the line. Jakes right side, looped it down. Here's Arniel, marvelous chance in front, centered for Freer, but boy, I'll tell you, McLennan makes a great play there with the stick. Here's Jakes the drive, stopped by McLennan with a glove save and a beauty. Here is Vasilyev, poked it up the boards, held in by Houston. Here's Freer, winding, shooting, puck deflected off the glass now. Controlled by Arniel, behind the net. Freer trying to center one out in front. They battle for it. Slivchenko trying to pop it away. It jammed to the near side. Here is Jakes, rolls it for Freer. In behind the net, Arniel. Aeros cycled the puck very well on this shift. Arniel jammed off the puck. In there, Vasilyev worked it to the line. Jakes couldn't hold it. It's back to neutral ice. Laniel, cross ice pass, Slivchenko trying to work it into the zone. The Aeros were offsides. They'll bring the face-off back to center with 12:31 to go in the second period. A 2-0 Utah lead, but Slivchenko, nice work along the boards there.
Yeah, Freer and Arniel as well. They moved the puck around really well. The Aeros are getting their chances, and they will score if they continue to get these kind of chances. But right now, on the shots that are mediocre, they can't get a goal, but even on the tough shots, McLennan is making great saves, so the Aeros just got to continue that kind of pressure, and they will get it.
Tonight's second period save comparisons are sponsored by Pizza Hut, where Pizza Hut delivers. Sjerven with 10 saves, McLennan with 13. Puck is shot into the Utah zone, and McLennan will cover up. See, now here's where I'm wondering, Greener, here's a puck that trickles down, would have gone into the net. You got to call that a save.
Technically, yes, you do, and I guess that's different off-ice officials will call that a shot. Different ones won't. Some shots come from the other end, and they're on goal and would be a goal if the goalie wasn't standing there. But I guess it's one of those things that we talk about. It's the person's discretion, and they are an official, and they have been they have been given their instructions.
Technically, any shot the goaltender stops that would have gone into the net is a save.
And that's why ones that go off the post are not.
Right. Here's a penalty coming up to the Houston Aeros, and Graeme Townshend's going to go to the box.
Well, a little bit of interference as he gets in front of the youngster May as he tries to go out to the point and check Kevin Grant. But Townsend gets in front of him a little bit, and that's, I guess, what you call obstruction interference. And so the Aeros will have to kill a penalty here, but May goes out, and you can see that he's tripped up on the play, and actually a very good call. The Aeros will have to kill a penalty, as I said. 2 minutes go up on the clock. And a chance for the Utah Grizzlies to extend their lead by 3. This could be a big turning point in the game. 2 goals are, I guess, if you look at it, are attainable by the Houston Aeros to try and get it back. But once the team gets 3 goals or 4, it makes it that much harder.
Here's a puck at center ice, goes into the Arrow end. Back to play at Lievers, flings it along the boards. O'Connor chipped it away. The Arrows are able to scoop it out at center, but Archibald waiting for it. Ignatjev in his own blue line, hooks the pass to Archibald. A head-man pass, Taylor across the line, but he was ahead 2 lines, and the face-off will come back to center ice, actually come back into the Utah Grizzlies' own head coach, Butch Goring. Boy, he's not won anything in his life, has he? I mean, just a Turner Cup and what, 4 Stanley Cup rings? Is that all?
He is a winner, and as winners do, they seem to be able to transfer that kind of winning attitude or winning spirit and all the technical things that go along with it to their players, and that's why he's such a good coach.
You can see on his fingers he's got 2 of his Stanley Cup rings, and I'm not sure which ones he's wearing, but he always rotates them.
If you put them all on, he'd look like Liberace.
No, he'd look like Mr. T. Except Mr. T's a little taller, right? Here's the puck controlled by the Grizzlies. And it is Bob Beers. Rolled it ahead for Brett Lievers. Pass coming right in on goal. The shot. Oh, great save by Grant Sjerven. A right pad save as he kicks that out of there. Now down is Ignatjev. Worked it behind the net. Here is Miles O'Connor. O'Connor to the corner, cleared, and Freer will shoot it down the ice. A minute remaining to Graeme Townsend. 11:16 to go into the second period. The Grizzlies lead it 2-0. Utah. It is Victor Ignatjev. Ripped the puck into the Arrow zone. To the far side, Kelly Hurd. Cleared ahead to Yo. He will move to center. Yo with 3 guys to beat, and he will just gently roll it in. And the Grizzlies go back. It is Jason Herter in behind the net. Herter will move it right to left. Herter pass out to the right side for Grigori Panteleev. Into the Arrow zone it goes. Out of the net, Sjerven slows behind. Krupke ripped it near side. That will scoot all the way down the ice. Power play down to 23 seconds. Gord Dineen. He'll gather in the puck behind his net, and he'll head up ice. Here is Micah Aivazoff. Aivazoff across the line. Aivazoff dropped it back to Dineen. Winding, shooting, ricocheted wide. Picked up by Vasilyev. Looks in front. Vasilyev trying to knock that free, and it's picked up by Yo, and he'll scoop it out at center ice. And the power play is over, and teams are at 5 aside. Townsend back out on the ice. Greek wide pass comes to Brett Lievers, though, for Utah. He shoots, and a stick save made by Sjerven. He will cover up, and he will hold on. Grizzlies lead it 2-0, but I'll tell you, when you look at the Houston Aeros tonight, Greener, it has been terrific penalty killing, even though they gave up 1 power play goal. Some nice saves by Grant Sjerven.
Grant Sjerven did make a great save on a chance by the Utah Grizzlies earlier on in the power play. The pass, a good one, comes across, and a good move, but an even better save as Grant Sjerven thwarts Bob Beers on the chance. He goes forehand, backhand, toe save, and Arniel back checking very well to get that puck and clear it out of the zone. Good job, as you said, penalty killing for the Houston Aeros.
Face off to the left side of swerving Grant Sjerven. It is Marc Lamb in the face-off circle against Lievers, who wins the draw. Back to Beers. The long wrist shot stuck aside by Sjerven. Picked up by Jakes and rolled to the near side for Townsend. And Townsend cleared, not out. Held in by Brett Lievers. Centered, but the shot was blocked, and the Aeros turn away with it. It is Sylvain Turgeon. He'll shoot it into the air, or into the Grizzlies zone. Back to play at Ignatjev. Bumped into the boards by Townsend. Lamb trying to dig it out, but it's controlled by Lievers. He overskated the puck, and Bob Beers is there. Beers to Barry Nieckar. Worked it along the boards, not out. A second effort is taken away, and Jakes has Turgeon in the load. Great save by McLennan. Challenged Turgeon to the far side, and the puck is cleared. Nieckar Ahead for Lievers. Swept away by Jakes. It's out at center, and Allen May is there, and he will move it up for Victor Ignatjev. Ignatjev slides one to Chris Taylor. Worked it into the Aeros zone, but the catch was made by Jakes, and he'll turn it around for Houston. Steve Jakes across the line. Rolled it into the Utah zone. Back to play it as Ignatjev as he's pursued by Slivchenko. Slivchenko took the puck away. Slivchenko's got it in the far corner. Slivchenko, though, trying to move it through Chris Taylor, which is no easy task. Worked it near side for Freer. He centered it, but Jamie McLennan makes the stick save. Puck near side. Here is Freer again. Centered. Slivchenko couldn't get a shot away. Now lets it fly, and a save made by McLennan, but I don't think that'll be considered a shot on goal, as that was going wide of the net with 8:46 to go in the second period. It's the Grizzlies 2, the Aeros 1. Let's take time out. This is a special edition of Saturday Night on Ice.
Back at the Delta Center moments ago, a good chance by the Aeros as Turgeon gets a good chance, but he's just too far on the short side. He doesn't have a very good angle, and McLennan just stands up and acts like a wall. The Aeros have not got one yet. It's 2-0 Grizzlies.
Freer, Slivchenko, Arniel, O'Connor, and Graeme. Face-off won by Utah. Gordon in behind his net, fired it off the boards, came to the line, not out, picked up by Utah and out to center ice. It was Micah Aivazoff, but worked away by Freer, and Miles O'Connor is there. O'Connor rips the shot, right pad save made by McLennan. Well, the Aeros are getting some shots on him, but they aren't beating him. He is playing well, Jamie McLennan. Robert Desmarais, a cross ice pass for Copeland. He'll shoot it into the arrow end. It'll go in behind, and here is Scott Arniel. Arniel running to by Desmarais. The puck came out in front. Oh, and that nearly caused problems, as Sjerven will hold on to it. But you know what? I'll tell you, this Robert Desmarais kid, and I do say kid, I mean, he is 16 years of age, and he holds himself very well out there.
As the puck comes behind the net, Desmarais, as you were just talking about, blocks it, and it's eventually thrown out in front. But Sjerven sharp there, as Freer was there to help out as well. The puck's just centered, and sometimes players will just try and center it, try and cause some trouble, and this potentially could have caused trouble, but a lot of the Aeros around to help out as Sjerven sharp to cover that one up.
16 years of age. That is, I mean, most kids are playing junior hockey at 16 years of age. This guy is first-year pro in the IHL.
And handling himself very well. He's a pretty big kid. He's about 6'2" and about over 200 pounds.
Puck is worked in behind the net for Kevin Grant. Slides it ahead for Yo, and it's down the ice. I think Radek Bonk was 17 when he came into the IHL with the Las Vegas Thunder.
Well, that's even young to play junior hockey to be 16 years old, and
that's your first year of junior.
Yeah, it usually is, and you're considered very young. You're just a rookie, and here he is in the professional ranks. All you can say is compliments to him, handling himself very well.
Puck is frozen. You know, I liken him to you, or here you are, a first-year IHL broadcaster, and handling yourself very well, because we were going to send you to Pee-wees to get you warmed up for this, but you've done very well. Next telecast coming up on UPN 20. The Aeros of the San Francisco Spiders from the Cow Palace, Saturday Night on Ice, January 27th at 8 o'clock, right here on UPN 20 and 950 KPRC. I silenced you.
Not the best color announcer in the league for nothing.
Here come the Grizzlies out at center. Brad Miller shoots it into the Aeros zone. Icing indicated by the linesman, so Gord Krupke will touch, and they'll bring a face-off back into the Utah zone. 7:29 to go in the second, 2-0 Utah.
There's Gord Krupke, who's playing very solid for the Houston Aeros. All the defensemen seem to have picked up their game, and Gord Krupke is no exception, coming back into the lineup and re-accepting that assistant captain role, doing a very good job. Sought after by a few teams last summer. The Aeros signed him eventually. Las Vegas, actually, who the Aeros played last night, were right in the bidding, but Gord Krupke chose the Houston Aeros, and I'm sure the coaching staff and everyone are very happy he did.
Yes. Here's a puck controlled by Al Conroy in the corner. He was dumped by Lievers. Puck came back to the line for Mike Yo. His shot right on, kicked out of there by Jamie McLennan. And here come the Grizzlies out at center ice. Lievers hits the line. Lievers trying to cut in with a backhander. Oh, that changed direction after Yo, and then Krupke got caught with a high stick. And we're going to get a penalty to Brent Lievers. Delayed call. And Krupke It was inadvertent, but we'll see if Krupke was cut.
Well, Krupke took a high stick just a few games ago. I think it was against against Orlando, and he got cut in that one. I don't think he's cut now as the referee goes over to check him out. But even if he isn't cut, there'll still be a 2-minute penalty. And it looks like it will be 2 for high sticking. Lievers, a first-year player himself who was in the IHL All-Star game, showing good poise and playing very well. But as the play comes in, Hurlbut tries to check Lievers. Lievers will come in and get the stick up in the air as he tries to move around a bit. He'll take that backhand shot, and right after that shot, I think the stick comes up and catches Gord Krupke up in the facial area as Lievers tries to get a shot on goal. Krupke trying to stand him up as he come back into the picture, but nevertheless, you'll see the power play for the Houston Aeros.
Clock is controlled by Marc Lamb as the Aeros are on the power play, and he'll drift back behind his net. 5th power play of the night for the Houston Aeros. 0 for 4 on the man advantage. Hurlbut ripped it into the Utah zone where McLennan slows, and he will clear it himself, but it was knocked away by Arniel and then cleared to the line, not out. Here's Lamb, right point, worked it down Slivchenko. Slivchenko hash marks right side, getting set. Back to the line for Lamb, tipped it for Slivchenko. He's looking for Arniel in front. Here's Freer waiting, back to Slivchenko, and now it is Lamb, top of the slot. Give it to Slivchenko. In behind for Freer. Freer looks along the boards. Aeros can't get it penetrated, though. Here is Marc Lamb. Back to the line. Hurlbut the drive. That is blocked and knocked down the length of the ice. 1:12 remaining in the penalty to Lievers. 2-0 Utah with 6:10 remaining in the period.
Good job by Grizzlies penalty killing. They got those 2 wingers up high, and then they collapse very well if the puck comes down low, and that really jams up that slot, not allowing the Aeros to make a good pass.
Marc Lamb brings it across the Utah blue line, slipped and fell, and the Grizzlies will turn, and Taylor will bring it out at center ice. Taylor to the right side for Alan May, trying to move it through O'Connor, could not do it, and O'Connor will play it with 43 seconds to go in the power play. Puck back to the line, but it was cleared out at center, and it's controlled by Chris Taylor. Now turned by O'Connor to the left side for Turgeon as he brought it across the line. Turgeon getting set. Nice pass over to Lamb. Right wing boards. Hooked it down for Al Conroy. Here is Conroy back to the line. Lamb. His pass was intercepted by Victor Ignatjev, and it's out at center ice. 3-on-2 shorthanded. Now it's 2-on-2 as Alan May comes to the bench. And Ignatjev's just going to go for a skate to kill off some time. It's back into the Utah zone for Bob Beers, and he'll shoot it down the ice. That'll do it for the power play. It's down to 7 seconds, and the Aeros are back in their own end. Here come the Aeros. Center ice. Marc Laniel. His pass broken up by Deneen. Penalty is over. Teams at 5 aside, and the Aeros will go back to play at Sjerven in his own zone. Flings it away, but it was taken away by the Grizzlies. Center Dame couldn't get a shot away. Here come the Aeros out at center. Kelly Hurd across the line. Hurd right side, bumped into the boards by Todd Copeland. Now in there it was Aivazoff, but picked up in center by Townshend. That ricocheted wide. Well, you know, he just senses it's one of those games if the Aeros could just get one, it might open the gates for him. Center ice, Utah. Archibald rolls it into the Aeros zone, and it's controlled by Steve Jakes in behind the net. Jakes is turning. He will hook one high, and the arrow will bounce at center for Jason Herter. Rolled the pass ahead for Robert Dame. Moves it in across the line. Dame dropped it for Vasilyev. Vasilyev a cross ice pass for Herter. Cuts in, shoots, scores! Jason Herter. Right side, 3-0 Grizzlies.
Well, not the strongest of goals, it appears. Herter is at a pretty sharp angle, and he finds that far side. I don't know if he beat Sjerven cleanly or not, but it appeared as it went underneath the blocker. As Sjerven came out to cut down that angle, Herter's found that far side. It's a good pass across, and he walks down. Not a lot of room, and he looks like he put it off the post. It was actually a very good shot, but earlier on we'd have seen Sjerven come out and pressure that a little more. You see that Sjerven is right inside his crease there. Normally he'd have been about a foot out on top of it. As Herter's just walked in, look at Sjerven. He doesn't cut the angle down. He takes a one or two steps out farther, and that puck hits the pad instead of the post.
Aeros have the puck back in their own end. Slivchenko get it to Krupke. Aeros now trail 3-0. It's back into the Utah zone, and Brad Miller is there. Rink wide pass for Panteleev too far, and Hurlbut takes over. Mike Hurlbut slides one near side Slivchenko. It's out at center, and it's into the Houston Aeros zone where Sjerven plays it. We've got a penalty. We'll sort it out when we return. 3:48 to go, second period. It's the Grizzlies 3, the Aeros no score. We'll surely be back right after this. 2 minutes are up on the board to Gord Krupke as the Grizzlies lead it 3-0 with 3:48 to go. And the Aeros right now digging themselves into a deeper hole. And Dave Tippett trying to find a shovel to cover up that hole with some dirt right now. As a face-off comes to the right side of Grant Sjerven. Conroy against Brett Lievers. Back to the line. Here's Victor Ignatjev winding, shooting his shot high and wide. Rebound kicks to the far boards, and here is Micah. Shot the length of the ice. Here is Victor Ignatjev turning in behind his net, and Bob Beers will take over with 1:45 remaining in the Utah Grizzly power play. Brett Lievers got by O'Connor, walks in, winding, shooting. His shot went high and wide. Jammed away by Archibald. Taylor in the near corner, bumped by Kevin Grant. And now it is O'Connor. O'Connor will just wait and then shoot it all the way down the ice. McLennan slows in front. Here comes Bob Beers turning in his own end. The pass for Lievers. He'll turn it across the blue line for Archibald. It goes into the arrow end. Back into the corner is Miles O'Connor. O'Connor trying to pick up a loose puck. He'll shovel it off the boards to the line, not out. And then it trickled down, and whoa, just playing a little bit, but Sjerven was able to get there. He'll hold on. 3-0 Utah, 1:06 remaining in the Krupke Minor. Fans, get an early start on your Mardi Gras celebrating. You don't have to go all the way to New Orleans. Come to the Summit Friday, February 2nd. The Rice Marching Owl Band will be on hand, along with the 104 KRB Stick Brigade for your entertainment. Everyone entering the building will receive the ever-popular Mardi Gras beads. That's Friday, February 2nd at 7 o'clock. Check out your Houston Chronicle that day for game coupons.
Good job by Sjerven there as the bouncing puck, he backhands it like a shortstop. Causes a freeze of the puck.
Goes with that face-off, and they try to win it in the corner. Hurlbut battling in there with Panteleev. Grigori Panteleev into the corner. Worked it back. It came to the line. Deneen could not hold it in with 55 seconds to go in this second period. 3-0 Utah.
I think you're right when you said the Aeros need to just get one, and it might send them off to the races. But right now, maybe a little frustrated.
Here is Micah Aivazoff for the Utah Grizzlies. Aivazoff turns one down for Panteleev. Back to the line. It is controlled. Deneen, the shot. Got a little too much loft on that one, and it's out at center ice. 30 seconds remaining in the Utah power play as the Aeros shoot it down the ice. Here's Scott Arniel pursuing with Deneen in the corner. They battle for it, and it's controlled by Jamie McLennan. It is Jason Herter for Utah, up and out of the zone for Micah Aivazoff. Ran into Kevin Malgunas. Right side, Kevin Grant trying to move the puck ahead. They battle along the boards. Malgunas getting in there a little bit with Jason Herter. Play moving on as the penalty to Krupke is over, and teams are at 5 aside. Krupke back out on the ice. Laniel, a pass for Marc Lamb. He'll bring it across the line. Lamb getting set at the left point, looks for the pass in front. It came to Turgeon, has the shot, missed it wide. Rebound, Malgunas trying to jam one in there. They battle for it. It's loose in skates, and Turgeon's got it. His shot was blocked, and it's gathered in by Barry Nieckar. Here come the Grizzlies. Nieckar centered for Lievers, pushed away by Kevin Grant. Now Lievers again for Nieckar. Nieckar got it back. Lievers base to the left circle with 1:15 to go in the period. 3-0 Utah. Here's the puck along the corner, and Malgunas clears it to Marc Lamb. Lamb, Turgeon, right side. Trying to get around. Ignatjev can't do it. And the Grizzlies will clear. Down to the final minute in period number 2, and the Grizzlies on top 3-0. Here's Mike Hurlbut. Lead pass off the stick of Lamb, picked up by Yo. Yo through the neutral zone, across the line. Here's a chance for Lamb, cutting down the right side. He's bumped by Miller. Taylor trying to gather in the loose puck, and here's Chris Taylor now. 39 seconds to go in the period. Panteleev, give it to Chris Taylor. Shot the puck into the arrow end. Here's Miles O'Connor to play it, run into by Chris Taylor. Yo turns, flings it over to Al Conroy, and the Aeros skate to center ice. Kelly Hurd couldn't find it, and it's back down the ice. Here's Mike Yo. He'll bring it out at center ice for Al Conroy, trying to get through Jason Herter. Now Yo down the left side, trying to move in. Herter's got him locked up, and we've got a penalty coming up to the Utah Grizzlies. So, like the end of the first, where the Aeros had a power play, they're going to get another one here as Utah's going to get nailed.
Well, it seems like the Grizzlies like to step up a lot on the play and take those guys streaming into the zone, but a little bit of hooking coming in from behind, and looks like the Aeros, like you said, will find another power play.
So Herter in the box for 2 minutes. There's 9 seconds remaining, and here's what caused it.
Well, here you see Yo, and they're stepping up on Yo, but also he's being tripped up from behind. So they have everybody on the puck carrier, but a little bit of extra stick work there will cause an Aero power play, and with 9.2 seconds remaining in the second period, a quick goal here would help, but they still will have the power play if they don't score coming into that third period.
Face off to the right side of Jamie McLennan. Freer, Arniel, Townshend with Lamb and Hurlbutt. Archibald is out there with Micah Aivazoff. Defensively, the Grizzlies will line up with Gord Dineen, and also out there is Todd Copeland. Off the face-off, here's Lamb with a shot blocked by McLennan. In behind Townshend, trying to center in. McLennan covered up with 0.6 seconds remaining. You can't stop the clock much quicker than that. There's not even a full second left.
You know, you asked me that same question earlier on in the game after the end of at the end of the first period there. Should you pull the goalie? Well, here's a situation where it wouldn't matter, I don't think. With 0.6 seconds, they're going to drop the puck, and there it goes. But a good hard shot by Lamb and a blocker save, as that was going to find the top corner. Another save by McLennan. He's been very, very solid, and then afterwards covers up the puck for the faceoff.
So there's the second period. The Houston Aeros trailing by a score of 3-0. We'll be back more from the Delta Center right after this. Welcome back to the Delta Center in Salt Lake City. It is a 3-0 Utah Grizzly lead. Adam Gordon along with Mike Greenlay, and I'll tell you what, the Aeros have dug themselves a little hole, but definitely not unobtainable. The Aeros, if they can get their offense going, I mean, it's been a pretty good defensive battle for them.
Well, they seem to be getting their shots on goal. They get some good chances and trying to work it in there, but it seems like a lot of their chances are coming through pretty wide open spaces, allowing McLennan to see the puck, and he's making some good saves on the one that he screened on, so pretty tough.
Would you say that Jamie McLennan is the difference in this hockey game?
I think he's made some great saves. I don't know if he's totally the difference. The Utah Grizzlies have really held the Aeros off. They haven't allowed them to really get in there. Like I said, they close down really well defensively, and they don't allow those shots from inside in front of the slot. You know, Graeme Townsend's so effective right in front of the net on the power play. Well, he's not even getting it. He's in front, but you can't get the puck to him because there's so many Grizzlies around him. So they're going to open up that a little bit in order to give themselves a chance.
I mean, let's not sell the Utah Grizzlies short. They're the defending Turner Cup champions. We already said that their record right now is higher than where it was at this point last year. So they're a team to deal with.
Well, they certainly are. Utah Grizzlies come into this game winning 3 in a row, and that's after losing all these players that we talked about. Tommy Salo, of course, up there. Danton Cole is up, and so is
Nicholas
Anderson. So, I mean, you have all these players that are supposed to be their key leaders. They're not here, and they still seem to put a good team on the ice.
Yeah, and, you know, I think I'm looking at this particular hockey game right now, 3 games in 3 nights. I know this is the 3rd game in as many nights for the Utah Grizzlies, but they've been at home for the last 2. They were in Vegas, which isn't much of a flight on their first night. You know, I guess looking at things, you can kind of see a fatigued hockey club out of Houston tonight.
Well, certainly. They played a game last week, and then all of a sudden 3 games in 3 nights. It makes it very tough. You know, guys get tired, and you know, things sometimes fall apart, and that extra jump, that extra energy level isn't there. And when it's not there, the emotions aren't as high. And when your emotion isn't as high, it's tough to get that extra little jump to score that extra goal.
So now we look at this third period coming up. I guess Dave Tippett, I'm sure, is the kind of guy in there. He's just going to pump the boys up, say, look, we got to come out in the 3rd period. We got to take it to them. It hasn't been a physical hockey game, and I don't anticipate it really turning physical because it is the 3rd game in as many nights, but he has to find a way to try and boost the momentum for his hockey club right now.
Well, hopefully he's in there right now diagramming a good play for this power play that they have coming into this 3rd period. That will be key. If they score on that power play, it could mean a bunch for them, but if they don't score on it, it could be tough trudging the rest of the way.
All right, well, when we return, we will have a look at the scoring summary and other things as well. It's 3-0 Utah. Back after this. the Delta Center, a 3-0 Utah lead. And boy, I've been a busy man. Look who I found. I found Angela Grant and Ryan, which is Kevin Grant's. Hey, how are you, Ryan?
Oh, he's so good.
What's that?
He's so good. We wanted to say hi to Uncle Norm, who's visiting from Canada and watching on TV back at home. So I want to say hi, Uncle Norm.
Say hi. He's just like one of my dates, nothing. Unbelievable. Thank you very much.
Thanks a lot, Adam.
All right, let's go to the scoring summary. Pretty easy, only one goal, and it belonged to the Utah Grizzlies. And it came, we'll go back to the first period, though. Grigori Panteleev at 2:01 from Taylor and Vasilyev made it 1-0. And then later in that period, on a two-man advantage, Andrei Vasilyev at 16:48 on the power play from Beers and Taylor. It was 2-0 Utah. Then in the second period, the only goal for the Utah Grizzlies was scored, and it was knocked in by, I believe it was Bob Beers that got in there. It was knocked in Taylor's center. It was Vasilyev actually that got it in there, and it is 3-0. So the Aeros trailing 3-0. And before we get to timeout for good health, I just thought it would be nice to have Angela Grant up here.
Oh, sure. It's always good to have the youngsters in, and I guess while we're at it, I might as well say congratulations to Miles and Kathy O'Connor. They're expecting next August, so congratulations, Kathy and Miles.
All right, it's time to take a look at timeout for good health. Today's topic, aerobic conditioning.
Time Out for Good Health is presented by Columbia HCA Healthcare Corporation. A new commitment in healthcare together.
Welcome to another session of Time Out for Good Health. All sporting activities require proper conditioning. Tonight we're going to talk about aerobic cardiovascular training. Let's go down to the conditioning laboratory. At a previous game we talked very briefly about the various forms of conditioning. Tonight we're going to go into that in a little more detail. We have with us Jerry Mines again. Jerry?
Thank you again, Dr. Baker. Hockey is a very high-capacity aerobic activity. If you'll notice, our skaters on the ice are only on the ice for about 30 to 45 seconds at any time, which is almost an anaerobic type activity, but requires a huge aerobic base to their conditioning. Here in our fitness lab, we have a variety of equipment that we use to establish that sort of aerobic base. We primarily use stationary bicycles. Stationary bicycling translates well to hockey athletes. But in order to avoid staying in one routine all the time, we do cross-train some with our stair climbers and then our treadmills, and then sometimes even jogging or walking outdoors, just so that there's a different activity involved in our cardiovascular fitness.
Remember to always check with your physician before beginning a new exercise program. Please join us at the next game for another session of Time Out for Good Health, when we will discuss strength training.
Time Out for Good Health was presented by Columbia HCA Healthcare Corporation. A new commitment in healthcare together.
Columbia Healthcare partners with 16 neighborhood locations in the greater Houston area. No other hospitals come close. It is 3-0. Hopefully the Aeros can come close in the third period. We'll have the highlights when we return. 3-0, the Utah Grizzlies leading the Houston Aeros. You know, we're thinking of trying to find the positive things for the Houston Aeros, and really, you know, outside of that one power play goal that was on a two-man advantage, penalty killing has been terrific tonight.
It certainly has. They've killed off quite a few penalties, and they've done it very well of forcing the Utah Grizzlies and allowing the defenseman to dump it all the way down the ice, and the Grizzlies haven't had too many chances on the power play.
I was saying it was Vasilyev. It was actually Jason Herter that got the only goal, and let's take a look at how he scored it.
Well, he gets a good pass across the ice, and what he does, he takes it around, and everybody kind of takes their man, but Sjerven stands a little too far back in the net, and Herter makes a great shot. Don't kid yourself, it goes off the post, but if Sjerven challenges a little bit more on this one, as you'll see on this great angle, he would stop it, but he stands a little too short into his net and gives him a little too much room, and if you give some guys room, they put it where it is.
All right, and that would take us to our second period stats as they congratulate him. Second period stats brought to you by Whataburger. Hey, what you waiting for? Shots on goal, 9-7 in that second period in favor of the Houston Aeros. Utah 13, faceoffs 1, 10 for the Houston Aeros. Both teams 2 penalties for 4 minutes. However, Greener, when we start playing in that third period, the Aeros are going to have 150 remaining on the power play. How important is this power play?
Well, it certainly is very important. I mean, we talked about it, them Tippett probably diagramming something in that intermission, and having him come out and maybe get one, leading him maybe to a comeback.
All right, let's see what he has diagrammed when we return. Third period is next. Our score, it's the Utah Grizzlies 3, Houston Aeros no score. We'll be right back. 3-0 in favor of the Utah Grizzlies. The Aeros are going to start this period with 1:50 remaining on the power play, and they're also going to start this period with a new goaltender. Rob Dobson will make his appearance, and he will come in and try and hopefully stop a little bit of the bleeding.
Well, Dauber, he has played a little. He hasn't played in quite a while, but he did take a little stint down to Louisiana about a week ago, a couple weeks ago, and played very well, and comes into this with a 7-10-2 record. 4.21 average, but he's played well, and with some extra help from maybe these guys, maybe they'll be able to turn this one around. Sjerven, I'm sure, doesn't feel too good about that last goal that went in. You can't really fault him on that second one, the 5-on-3, and of course the first one was a breakaway, but I think maybe Dave Tippett trying to change things up a bit, trying to get something that'll spark these guys, and hopefully the change of goaltenders and the power play coming into this third period will be just what the doctor ordered, as the Aeros try and dent the twine of this man, Jamie McLennan, who has played very well this game, stopping all 18 shots by the Houston Aeros and doing a great job. A lot of the shots he's had to face weren't all the toughest ones, but the ones that were tough, he got a hold of, and Tippett, like we said in the intermission, probably diagramming something on the power play to change things up, as the Grizzlies doing a good job penalty killing, closing down that middle and not allowing the opening of those passing lanes. We'll see how the team reacts to Dauber being in. They played pretty well for Gamble last night. We'll see how they react to Dauber. Off the face-off, Aeros have the puck here. Sylvain Turgeon tossed it back into his own end for Marc Lamb. Lamb drifting in behind the net, and he'll start the rush. Lamb pass to the near side for Hurd. He'll rip it into the Utah zone. McLennan tried to slow. Puck back to the line. Here's Marc Lamb. Puck on edge. Slides it to the right side for Conroy. And now a chance for Turgeon to set up. Gives to Conroy. One-time shot and just went wide. Here's a shot by Hurd, but changed direction, and somehow a right pad save was made by Jamie McLennan. It changed direction off of Yo's leg, and he's limping back to the bench. I think he took that somewhere in a non-padded area behind his leg, but almost got a goal from it. Here is Townshend trying to feed Turgeon in the corner. Dug out by Graeme. Townshend picked up by Gordon. Cleared to the line. Not out. Held in Townshend. Worked it to Hurd, but that's knocked away by Aivazoff. 2-on-1 short-handed. Aivazoff in. Centered. But it went wide. He had to try and saucer it over the stick of Hurd, and Alan May couldn't handle it. Now Lamb the other way. Lamb pulls up left side. Back to the line. Here's O'Connor to the right side for Turgeon. Getting set. Turgeon at the hash marks, tossed one back to the line, and O'Connor couldn't hold it in. He'll go back to center ice. Power play down to 33 seconds. O'Connor weaving through the neutral zone. Got it into the Utah zone. Out of the net with McLennan. He'll swing it to the near side. Townshend trying to pick it loose. Townshend wanted to work it for Freer. That was knocked away by the Grizzlies. They'll move to center ice. Here come the Grizzlies. Chris Taylor lead pass. Archibald in alone, and Dobson will cover up, and he will hold on. 14 seconds to go, and the penalty to Jason Herter. 18:23 to go in the second. 3-0 Utah. Rob Dobson showing that he's a terrific skater, and he needed to be to get to this one. Well, he does come out, and a lot of time it's a bit of a gamble. He didn't have to come out too far, but you always, for that split second, are saying to yourself, should I go after it or should I wait for the breakaway? You don't want to get caught halfway, but Al Conroy gets a heck of a shot here. It's blocked by the defense, and eventually after this shot, another shot will come, and it'll be, I think, Hurd who takes a good hard shot, and it'll hit Yo on the inside of the leg, and actually that puck almost went in, so Yo gets a little bit of an injury. I'm sure he would have been happy if that had gone in, but it does not, as Jamie McLennan makes another save. Laniel ripped the puck into the Utah zone. Grizzlies trying to gather it in. The penalty is over. Herter back out on the ice. Here is Ignatjev in behind the net with 2 minutes gone in the third, and a 3-0 Grizzly lead. Puck back at center. Laniel turns over to the far side for Jakes. Got it back to Laniel. And now it is Slivchenko. Right side for Freer. Tossed it. Laniel moved it around the line, and Arniel will play it. That's offsides. And the Grizzlies looking to make it an intentional offsides, but the linesman says no, and they'll keep the face-off out at center ice. You know, the success of the penalty kill for the Grizzlies tonight, as you take a good look at Yo, if you're enjoying the game on UPN 20, as he's trying to walk off that slap shot to the inside of the leg. But a good job by the Grizzlies. They try and work you inside out. They don't allow that point-to-point pass, which the Aeros like to do. They like to get it point-to-point and then feed it down low if they don't have anything. But they've been cutting that off. And so the Aeros have to go down low when they really don't want to. And then, like I said, they close it down pretty quick, and there aren't too many passing lanes. So the Aeros are going to have to try something new if they get another power play, maybe.
Puck is in the Utah zone. Here's Marc Lamb trying to work it down for Brad Miller. Picked up by Barry Nieckar, and he'll skate it out at center ice. Nieckar passed to Jason Herter across the line with Alumni. Shot went wide of the net. Nieckar in the far corner, watched by Jake. And they bang away at a loose puck. It's picked up by Utah Alan May as he's worked on in behind the net by Marc Lamb. I guess you could say he was being laminated into the boards. Puck is worked on by Laniel, and he'll move it ahead to center ice. Well, in a 3-0 game, you got to come up with something as they're going to knock the net off, and let's take time out. It's the Grizzlies 3, the Aeros no score, and we will be back with more after this.
Well, I guess Marc Lamb may have had too much lamination done. He's going into the box 2 minutes, and the Aeros are going to be shorthanded.
And a face-off in their own end to the right side of Rob Dobson. Aeros' next action will be on Prime Sports and, of course, on KPRC Radio. The Atlanta Knights against the Houston Aeros, 7 p.m. Wednesday night. Again, right here on 950 KPRC and on Prime Sports. Face-off to the right side of Dobson. Conroy against Micah Aivazoff. Drop of the puck, and the Grizzlies have it, and they lead it 3-0. Vasilyev turns it down to Aivazoff at the hash marks left side. Back to the line for Gordonine. Tees it up, centered, shot blocked by Hurlbutt, and swung to the line, not out. And here's another penalty coming up to the Houston Aeros. They're going to be 2 men down.
I'm not sure what this one's going to be called for, but the Aeros letting the puck roll around a bit to kill some time off the clock on Lamb's penalty, but it's going to be a slash. And I'm not sure I saw it. It must have been in front of the net. Gord Krupke is going to the box for the slash. So it must have been in front of the net as the puck was up near the top of the circle. The Aeros, for the second time tonight, will have to kill off a 5-on-3. Of course, they didn't kill off the first one. That was the second goal of the hockey game, as Vasilyev, I believe, chipped out the one in on the second goal of the game on the 5-on-3. And the Aeros have their work cut out for them now as they try and kill off the second one. Gord Krupke goes to the box for the slash. Lamb already in there with 1:40 left, but looks getting kind of crowded in there, Adam.
Yes, here's a shot right on, and it went. I think Dobson may have gotten a piece of it. This must be April 15th because the Aeros are getting taxed on their penalty killing. Puck is worked behind the net. Chris Taylor centered. Beers in alone, shoots and missed the net. Here's Jason Herter back at the left point. Herter slides it down Vasilyev. Vasilyev got it back, and here is Bob Beers at a right point. Top of the slot, drifting, waiting. Now got it down for Taylor, and Beers looks again. Here's a chance for the Grizzlies as Beers centered, and a centering pass knocked away by Hurlbutt. Grizzlies patiently move it along. They've got 1:05 left in the 2-man advantage. Beers to the far side, and the Aeros are going to get called with another penalty as Dobson makes a great save, and the Aeros are going to get another penalty. Now Conroy and Brett Lievers are going to go at it. It is starting to slip away from the Houston Aeros right now. Conroy a little frustrated with Brett Lievers, and the linesmen get in there to separate them. Well, Dobson may have saved the day just a second ago, preventing a goal going in on the power play, but the Aeros are going to be 2 men down for quite a while here.
Well, with the amount of room that they had, the Grizzlies just move it around, and they tried to get Taylor on the back door. He gets a shot away, but Dobson gets over there with a skate, and then O'Connor tackles Taylor. I think that might have been the penalty, but Conroy will go to the box. That wasn't the penalty. Actually, Hurlbutt will be going to the box, but then Conroy gets a little frisky as he jumps all over Lievers, and he'll go to the box as well. And one of the Grizzlies will go to the box. It looks like the hot tub, except they're all clothed and there's no water.
There's more people in the hot tub. There we go. That's the penalty box they should be in.
Well, I tell you what, I think maybe they think they get to go into that tub if they get a penalty, because that box is full right now.
Look at that.
Is that the bench or is that the box?
Here's the story. It looked like the Brady Bunch in there. Unbelievable.
So the Aeros will have to kill off this 5-on-3, obviously. And that third penalty will not start until the the first penalty to Marc Lamb is over. And so after this, they'll have another 5-on-3. Graeme Townshend doesn't even have a seat. He has to sit on the ground, I think, or on a stool or a bucket or something in the box.
If the Aeros take another penalty, well, now hold on here. They have not put the Conroy penalty up yet. I think they're trying to sort all that out. There's 56 seconds left to Lamb, 1:16 left to Krupke. There should be at least 2 minutes coming up to Al Conroy. Now Hurd comes out of the box. Are you as confused as I is?
Well, like I said, they won't put a penalty up on the board until the.
Well, they go up and it won't start. Usually they put it up.
Usually they put it up and then they start it when they have to. Maybe they're just leaving it as it is, and then when it does hit, they'll throw it up there. But Dave Tippett getting the explanation right now, and he'll try and find out where all the calls come from, as he asks John Potter, referee tonight, what's going on. And now I think Hurd will make another trip across the ice as he's back in the box. He was in the box, then he came out, and now they're going to throw him back in. So Graeme Townshend got a seat at least.
Folks,
and now Lamb's on the ground.
Are you as confused as we are?
Well, the thing is when you have a situation like that, there was going to be an original call, and I think the original call came to Hurd. And then after that, Conroy in there was wrestling with Lievers, and so they'll probably both get minors, and they're trying to sort out. Well, let you know about this.
Yeah, while they sort that out, it's a salute to the brave men and women of the Houston Fire Department. Join us Sunday, February 4th at the Summit. Houston Fire Department calendar guys will be on hand to battle it out in a tug of war on the ice. Ladies, get your tickets now. You don't want to miss this. It's Sunday, February 4th at 4 p.m. There's the 2 minutes up to Al Conroy. Now that won't start for another 53 seconds, so a two-man disadvantage for about 1:08 now for the Houston Aeros. They've already been down a man for about 1:10. So you're looking at over 2.5 minutes of being down 2 men. Here's the puck to the right side, Chris Taylor. And you're playing your third game in as many nights. You've got to be a little tired. Here is Andrei Vasilyev back to the line. Herter worked it over to Beers. Right point over to Herter left side. Slides it down low. Wide of the net. Taylor digs it out. Looks in front. Chipped away by Laniel. And there Archibald. He and Kevin Grant go at it. Grant able to clear it to the line. Not out. Held in by Herter. Herter getting set. Herter slides it down. It's controlled by Vasilyev. Back to the line. Herter tipped it for Beers. 12 seconds left to Lamb. Here's the shot. Dobson stick save. Nice one there. And the puck is turned away. Here is Chris Taylor. Base of the right circle. Taylor moved along the boards for Beers. At a right point. Bob Beers getting set on the two-man advantage, which has now been reset with Conroy's penalty starting. Here is Laniel. He'll clear it down the ice.
Great job by Laniel cutting that lane off, laying his stick down. That allows a full change for the Aeros as they are about to kill off the second penalty and just have a 5-on-4 in about 2 seconds.
Penalty to Krupke is down, and now Krupke can come back to the ice. Here is Panteleev, right side. He's locked up by Arniel. They work it to the near side, so 1:33 left to Al Conroy. Here's a centering pass in front, but Krupke was on Vasilyev's case. Back to the line, it's Ignatjev winding, shooting, stopped by Dobson, and Krupke swept it to the line, not out. Krupke trying to move it, can't do it. Vasilyev turns base of left circle, lost the handle, and O'Connor will play it. Miles O'Connor moves it up and out of the zone as he was forechecked by Aivazoff. O'Connor swings it the length of the ice. 1:10 remaining to Al Conroy.
And I really want to see Dobson do really well tonight. He's practiced really hard over this last few weeks, and it's been tough for him and for Gamble. And Gamble came in, played well last night, and Dobson coming in playing well right now.
Here is Gordonine right side. Slides it ahead to Victor Ignatjev. Gives to Robert Desmarais as it goes into the Aeros zone. Pursuing is Panteleev. He's bumped by Laniel. Given a good check in the corner. Now picked up by Freer and moved to center ice. 36 seconds remaining in the power play. Puck into the Utah zone, and Desmarais will take over. Here comes 16-year-old rookie sensation Robert Desmarais through the neutral zone. Desmarais shoots it in. Dobson will glove it. They will turn and flip it off the boards. Clear to the line, not out. Deneen held it in. Winding, shooting. That was blocked by Krupke, and he'll steer it ahead. And the Aeros almost had a 2-on-1, but they couldn't advance it. Kelly Hurd right side trying to move it ahead. Battle for the puck. It is Jakes. He overskated, and Chris Taylor brings it ahead with 9 on the power play. Taylor in on goal, and it was worked away. That almost could have been another penalty on the Aeros. Toward Deneen. To the left side, Ignatjev sends one-time shot by Panteleev, and a great left hand save made by Dobson. Oh man, that one will make a highlight reel to come. Now to the near side, the Aeros will clear it the length of the ice.
Panteleev looking for his second of the night. He, of course, had the first goal on the breakaway. And Dobson says not great now as he gets his pad and glove on it. What a great save on the back door.
I don't know if he told Panteleev not or niet, but regardless, he was stoned. Here is O'Connor through the neutral zone. Pass to the right side, Kelly Hurd. He's got Conroy in front center. Turgeon shoots. And a stop made by Jamie McLennan. I think that's the first save he's had this period. Puck is worked into the Arrow end. Barry Nieckar getting through Kevin Grant. Grant drilled him into the boards with a huge check. Crowd wants a penalty, but it was Nieckar who lost an edge, and that's why he was drilled in so hard. Now it is turned around by the Grizzlies, brought in Aivazoff, swept away by O'Connor, gives to Vadim Slivchenko. Slivchenko trying to make the move ahead. It was turned away by Jason Herter, and the Grizzlies clear it down. 12:07 to play in the third. Grizzlies lead it 3-0. A pass too far for Freer. Herter cleared it ahead to center ice for Chris Taylor. Trying to tip it ahead, but Jinx was there, and now Slivchenko with Freer. Dropped it back. Freer right side, pulls up, looks in front, trying to center. Arniel down the left side, couldn't get a shot away. Dame was there to play it. Laniel, now we got a delayed penalty coming up to the Grizzlies. Here is Arniel shooting, and McLennan the save. He will hold on, and we will take a timeout. Yeah, hold on. We'll keep it here for a second as Slivchenko took a shot after the whistle. That is a no-no, and everybody getting into it again. Conroy in the middle of it. And he is all locked up with somebody.
It was a quick whistle, though, because McLennan didn't really have it. It dropped down on the ice, and realistically, if he has to have control of it, the Aeros should have been able to keep chipping away at it.
We'll sort it out when we return. 11:44 to go in the third. It's the Grizzlies 3, Aeros no score. We'll be right back.
Back at the Delta Center, Utah leads it 3-0. It could have been 4-0 as Panteleev gets a good backdoor pass, but guess who's there? Rob Dobson with a heck of a glove save, and then he bats it out of the air and clears it from in front as Taylor was sniffing around. Good job by Dobson. And then down at the other end, Arniel gets a shot. It's a delayed penalty, but the whistle's blown, but look at the puck drop. The puck drops, and then Slivchenko, after the whistle, dumps it into the net. And by rights, it shouldn't have been blown, but Slivchenko still, I guess, by everyone else's standards, should not have dumped it into the open net as McLennan takes exception. And there'll be penalties as the Aeros and Utah get into it in front of the net.
They'll sort it out now as Marc Freer for the Aeros and Gordonine talking with the referee, John Potter. And with it being 3-0 Utah, the penalty box continuing to fill up with occupants as Arniel is in there with Conroy. And a very frustrated hockey club right now for Houston. They are winless in 2. They did pick up a point last night, and Dave Tippett trying to right this ship right now.
This guy's serious. Go Grizzlies written across his forehead.
Does your mother know you're doing that? If my mother saw me do that, I wouldn't be here. I'd be in such huge trouble right now. Probably about as much trouble as John Potter is right now with Dave Tippett.
While we got a second here, you know, there's nothing more fun than bringing a group to a Houston Aeros game, so the Houston Aeros want you for a group outing. Bring a group of 20 or more of your friends and you'll receive a discount on tickets, a welcome at the game, merchandise discounts, and a chance to win great prizes 2 times a year in our group sweepstakes. You can also bring a group of 42 people to the game on the Aero bus. For more information, call 627-AERO. Join the Aero Force. It's the American way, and I already know the group I'm bringing. The hot tub. There's my group. There's my group. They're coming with me. They're coming to the Aeros game.
Well, a hot tub would be a fun place to be, especially when you look at the weather outside here at Salt Lake. It's snowing pretty hard. It's definitely skiing weather and hockey weather. And McLennan definitely thinks it's hockey weather as he's stopped all 22 or all 18 Aero shots. I think there's a few more than that. They haven't put them up on board yet.
Yeah, it's been stuck at 18 here for a little bit.
But the Aeros have got a couple more chances than that, so it must be around 19, 20, maybe a little more. But he stopped them all regardless, and the Aeros trail it 3-0.
Aeros have the puck here as Slivchenko right side with a quick shot kicked out of there by McLennan. Now O'Connor tees it up, lets a shot go. That's blocked. Now Freer trying to turn one in there, and McLennan escorts that out of there. 11:28 to go in the third. 3-0 Utah. And here's Brett Lievers. Rink wide pass misses Vasilyev. It's back into the Aero zone for Mike Hurlbutt. Tossed one over for Yo. And Yo will move it up ice. Mike Yo. Give it to Slivchenko. Slivchenko across the line, gives to Yo, cutting in too far. That's broken up by Gordini. Now Jakes is pinching, cutting in, trying to get a shot away. That's cleared. And the Grizzlies, do they have a 3-on-2? Well, Laniel got over there to thwart Panteleev. But now it is Brett Lievers across the line, shooting. Dobson saving with the stick. Into the corner, it's Vasilyev. Worked on by Yo. Lievers trying to move one out in front. That's knocked away. And here come the Houston Aeros right to left. Jakes to the right side, Slivchenko. Slivchenko trying to cut in. That's blasted away, and it's out of neutral ice. 10:40 to go. Aeros trying to move in. Here's a shot blocked that never made it to McLennan. And Gordini sends it ahead to Panteleev. Down the ice it'll go. Marc Laniel will play it in his own zone. Laniel forecheck by Alan May. Reversed it along the boards to the far side for Sylvain Turgeon. Turgeon pushed it ahead for Jakes, and now it is Laniel. Laniel up ice with Townshend, and Turgeon goes into the Utah zone. Ignatjev was there. Worked it near side. Laniel trying to fire a shot. That went in. They score! Sylvain Turgeon ends a drought of 150 minutes plus of scoring, and it is now a 3-1 hockey game.
Well, the first shot, I believe, hit the post, but it came back out. McLennan didn't know where it was, and Turgeon slams it home. Last night, Turgeon didn't have any goals, but before that, he had 3 games in a row where he had at least one. And here's a deflection, and it actually hit a defenseman wide of the net. Comes back out. Turgeon gets his own rebound and pokes it in the open side. Sylvain Turgeon, who is leading the point right now total for the Houston Aeros, has 16 goals now on the year and 39 points.
And there's time remaining, folks. We're halfway.
Definitely. 10 minutes left, and the Aeros could definitely come back into this one with a little spark like this. Some good goaltending by Rob Dobson and a big goal by Turgeon.
Here's a puck at center ice, turned away by the Houston Aeros, picked up by Hurd. Hurd cutting in with a shot that went wide of the net. Archibald along the left side, cleared it the length of the ice and back down into the Houston Aeros zone. O'Connor goes back, and this is going to be an icing call on the Utah Grizzlies, and they'll bring the faceoff back into the Utah zone. 9:37 to go in the third, and Utah leads at 3-1 as Turgeon gets the goal. And as you mentioned, Sylvain now with goal number 16 on the year. Sly was not feeling up about 100% last night, which is why he saw limited ice. Took about 2 shifts and said he was just kind of battling. Wasn't really feeling good. He said it was coming over him the last game against Chicago. Well, actually against Chicago, but more importantly against Orlando is when he really started feeling it. You know, the Aero bench looks a little complacent right now, but you know, they just need one more goal and they're right back in this thing. And they maybe can sense some blood. Here's Hurd a shot.
Sometimes it's a silent before the storm, Adam.
Yes. Here's a puck into the Utah zone. It goes on at center ice. Back to play it is Yo. Scrapes it up the wall. The Grizzlies have got it. Brad Miller firing it into the Aero zone, rejected by Hurd, and Lievers has to wait for his troops to come on site. That is offsides, and we take timeout. 9:16 to go in the third. It's the Utah Grizzlies 3, Houston Aeros 1. Hey, we'll be right back after this. 9:16 to go in the third. At a 3-1 Grizzly lead, and Rob Dobson has come in and done a terrific job. You know, he is a terrific backup, and you know, you think back last year, 2 or 3 times he came in and really brought the Aeros back into hockey games, and perhaps he can do it here tonight, but the Aeros need 2 to tie.
It's funny you mention that because he can do both jobs very well. He can play a good long string of games and carry a team, and he also can come off the bench better than most goalies I've ever seen, and it's a compliment both sides for him.
Puck goes, excuse me, just to say, puck goes into the Utah zone, and it's whistle dead on the offside with 8:49 to go in the third. Let's look at some upcoming hockey games that you will be able to see on UPN 20. We've talked tonight about next Saturday, the San Francisco Spiders from the Cal Palace. And then on the 10th of February, we head to the Rosemont Horizon, catch the Chicago Wolves, Rob Brown, Steve Malte. As Butch Goring calmly relaxed on the bench, his team up by a pair. The Grizzlies shoot the puck the length of the ice. It'll go into the Aeros zone. Now can the Aeros get there to get the icing? No, Archibald negates it, centers it back to the line. Held in by Todd Copeland, scooped it down for Day-May rather, but there was Jakes to thwart it. Now Turgeon trying to clear. Jakes trying to roll one ahead. He's bumped by Day-May. Day-May takes a hit from Steve Jakes, and Turgeon off to the races. Works one out at center ice for Kelly Hurd. He'll bring it across the line. Hurd in on goal. Deke shoots and fired that just wide.
Off the crossbar.
Did that go off the bar? Here's Laniel now. Cuts one down. Hurlbut shoots. Stopped. Loose in front. Aeros coming after him now. Here's the puck. McLennan has lost his stick. Aeros need to go after him. Hurlbut tossed it down. Now McLennan's got a defenseman's stick. He's got a regular skating stick. He'll slow the puck behind the net. It's along the near side. The Grizzlies need to just freeze it for a face-off. Puck to the line. O'Connor held it in. Here's Hurlbut. Wanted to pull the trigger. Could not. Hurd will let the drive go, and he hammered that high. And the Grizzlies, this will be an icing call they'll gladly take. That goes all the way down into the Aeros zone. O'Connor will play it. But Jamie McLennan, who had lost his stick, needed to go get one. But the Aeros nearly got within one with 7:36 to go in the third. 3-1 Utah.
Hurd comes down and just blisters one's off the crossbar as McLennan goes down in the double pad slide. And the Aeros, as you said, just about came within one. A good job by Hurd just to bust around the end and beats the defenseman, then just chips it off the stick and right off the bar. I tell you what, they don't call it a game of inches for nothing. As a good job getting around Dineen, who's a very solid defenseman, and Hurd with a poke check by McLennan and chips it up. And it just goes right off the bar, about an inch lower, and would have been within one.
Face off to the left side of McLennan. Here is Hurlbut with a drive. That goes wide of the net. O'Connor turning left side, trying to move it along. And here's Scott Arniel to the right wing boards. Worked it in behind the net for Kevin Malgunas. Centered in front. Here's the shot. Stop, rebound. Score. They're going to wave it off. They're going to wave it off.
Potter's called. That's a second quick whistle he's called tonight, and arguably could have cost 2 goals for the Aeros. The first one, maybe you can say that he had the possession, but on this one I'm not too sure, as the puck slips underneath the McLennan, and I think Arniel might have got a piece of it and chipped it in, and Potter says no immediately.
Wow. Oh man, look at Dave Tippett's look. And Dave Tippett, so mild-mannered, he is just livid.
I can't understand how this one isn't, but it gets in front, and a good job by Conroy to finally find the puck and jam it away, and it drops down right about now, and you know what, you can see the guys see it. Arniel and Malgunas go after it. So I guess if you see it from this angle, if you're enjoying the game on UPN 20, the puck goes through and it'll come down behind. Yeah, it never was frozen. Oh, that's a goal. That is definitely a goal.
That is the worst call.
And the whistle went early. It's an early whistle.
And now here's Vasilyev on a break. He'll cut in, shoot. Dobson the save. Gee, I thought maybe Potter would call a penalty. It's probably his style. Here's a shot that's blocked. Should have blown the whistle. Here's the puck to the right side, Vasilyev. He takes a bump from O'Connor. They grapple it out along the near side, and they try to move it along the boards. You know, it's hard enough when you're having trouble scoring, but when you work for one and earn one and have it turned away. Oh, well. Puck goes into the far corner. Conroy fighting for it, looking for Arniel. Dineen's got him tapped into the boards. They continue to go at it. Arniel kicks it loose. Arniel spun off by Brett Lievers, and it's taken away by Gord Dineen and shot the length of the ice. You know, the Aeros are coming after him here, but the Aeros are going to need a little help.
Well, they certainly needed help on that one. That's unbelievable. He was at a bad angle to catch that one, but was 100% a goal, as the puck was dropped by McLennan, and it dropped in behind him, and you could see Malgunas and Arniel just go after it. Arniel gets the stick on it and pokes it into the net, but the whistle had gone already, as Potter blown the whistle early, and that's a second, like I said, early whistle that he's called in this period alone.
I don't have as much problem with the Slivchenko one. I mean, that's a tough one. McLennan had it, and it was, as you say, a quick whistle, but I don't have a problem with that one. But I have a big-time problem with the one that McLennan clearly never had. Now the puck is along the near side, and Yo trying to move it ahead to Freer. Slivchenko turning left side. Laniel takes a bump from Jason Herter, and it goes back into the Aeros zone. Here's Kevin Grant, pursued by Barry Nieckar. Grant slides a pass for Freer. He'll move to center ice with Slivchenko and Yo. Here's Freer, rolls one right side. Slivchenko trying to cut in on goal. Sharp angle shot. McLennan stopped it, and Lievers is there. Now on the right side, Laniel. It hits skates. Freer trying to turn it down. Here's a chance for Yo. The shot blocked, and picking it up is Mike Hurlbut. Hurlbut slides it for Slivchenko. Slivchenko, top of the slot. Worked it back to the line. Laniel, long shot, blocked down. Aeros couldn't come up with it. It was worked away by the Grizzly defense, but Yo had a hash marks right side. Yo cutting in, but the shot is stopped by McLennan, and play is whistled down. Let's take timeout. 5:34 to go in the third. It's the Grizzlies 3, the Aeros 1. Back after this. 5:34 to go in the third, and we've got audio of the goal, and this is what it sounds like. Listen. The puck is already in the net. It's in the net when the whistle sounds. Listen to it again. Watch. See? Puck's in the net.
So two bad calls, I guess.
Oh, I could find a few more if you give me a chance. Here's the puck in behind Townshend center. Turgeon couldn't get the shot away, and Gordonine will clear it. Out at center ice, it's Andrei Vasilyev, and it's back into the Aeros zone. So, I mean, not only does he blow the quick whistle thinking McLennan's got it, but the puck is already in the net when he blows the whistle.
I'm sure he should have conferred with his linesman, but I don't think he did, as he waved it off immediately.
Puck is along the near side, and it's back in behind the net for Rob Dobson, and Miles O'Connor will play it. O'Connor in his own end. He'll move it up ice. O'Connor through the neutral zone, trying to push it ahead, and here's Graeme Townshend off sides, and the face-off back to center. Time is now a factor, but the sad part is this should be a 3-2 hockey game.
And therefore giving the Aeros a great chance to come back, but the Aeros have put on a lot of pressure in this last 10 to 15 minutes, and did get a goal. They weren't rewarded with the goal on the scoreboard, but they need 2 to tie this, and 4:50, it's starting to count down. It's starting to become a factor, as you said. And there's Grisby having a great time in the tub with the ladies. He's a ladies man. He's a ladies bear, I heard.
Here's the puck for Laniel. That goes into the corner for Al Conroy. Conroy looks in front, and it's gathered in by the Grizzlies, and Aivazoff couldn't clear it. It came behind the net. Conroy looking in front from Alcunas. They fight for the loose puck. Conroy jammed in there by Brad Miller. Here's a centering pass blocked by Archibald, and Alan May will take over. May, center ice, right wing boards into the Aeros zone. Dobson will slow. Kevin Grant will play with 4:15 to play. Center ice, Al Conroy. He'll shoot the puck into the Utah zone. McLennan will slow. And here comes Gordonine in behind the net. Dineen had to go back after the forecheck of Vadim Slivchenko. Puck along the far boards. Can the Aeros hold? No. Vasilyev cleared it, but Yo takes over at center ice. Turns one into the zone, but Todd Copeland will seek refuge and send it over to Gordonine. Dineen's pass, center ice, broken up by Hurlbut, and it goes into the Utah zone. Here's Dineen. In behind the net, flings it along the wall. It came to the line, not out. And it's picked up by Taylor. Center ice, Panteleev. Panteleev hits the line. Panteleev trying to make the move, popped away by O'Connor. And they work away at it near side. O'Connor giving Panteleev a good shove in the boards. And finally back at center ice for Aivazoff. Down to 3:25 in the third. Grizzlies lead it 3-1. Hurlbut. Center ice for your Freer. That went off skates, and now Aivazoff for the chance. Left wing, winding, shooting, and Dobson. A great glove save, and he'll hold on with 3:14 to go. 3-1 Grizzlies.
Dobson looking very sharp this period. It's kind of unfortunate that it isn't a 3-2 lead, because Dobson looks like he's able to hold him in there right now. A great glove save there, as that puck was labeled by Vasilyev. Vasilyev has the game winner right now if the score stays the same. Or sorry, this is Aivazoff. I thought it was Vasilyev. I get all those Russian names mixed up, but Aivazoff nevertheless is no slouch himself, and Dobson picks that one out of the air and does a great job of hanging on to it. The Aeros, it should be 3-2. I keep saying it, but it's 3-1. The Aeros need 2 to tie it up.
Face off to the right side of Rob Dobson. Lamb take the draw out there against Micah Aivazoff. And the puck is taken by the Aeros. Laniel nearly turned that over to Archibald. Lamb gathered it in, trying to clear. It goes back in behind the net. Kevin Grant to the far side for Graeme Townshend. And Grant will take over for Turgeon. Turgeon steers one ahead, too far for Lamb. And the Grizzlies are back. Under 3 minutes to go. Here is a puck at center ice for Turgeon. Knocked away by Lamb. And Lamb moves it up ice. Lamb across the line. Lamb dropped it back. Townshend winds, shoots right on him. McLennan makes the save. He'll hold on.
The Arrows trying to put on pressure late in this period. They need 2 now in 2 minutes and 41 seconds. They'll have to get one real quick here to put some more pressure on. Last play comes back, and a good hard shot by Townshend. But McLennan, as he has seen all night, sees one in all the way from the stick to his pads, and he covers up. I think Tippett might be diagramming some things, and you never know, he might call a timeout in the next minute or so to try and get something going here late in this game.
Face off to the left side of netminder Jamie McLennan. And Conroy will take the face-off against Brett Lievers. There is time, but the Arrows need to get to work. Here's a shot that's knocked away and brought out at center ice. And pushed back into the Arrow end, but the Arrows will go back. Scott Arniel. Arniel rolls it ahead at center. Arniel to the right side for Al Conroy. Goes into the zone. Kelly Hurd pursues. Hurd taken into the boards, fighting for those puck. You know, Kelly Hurd had a marvelous chance too. This could be a 3-3 game if his doesn't go off the crossbar. Now this O'Connor fighting for it in behind the net. O'Connor then dumped by Vasilyev, and it's picked up by Andrei Vasilyev and cranked along the boards, and that'll slide to center ice for Grigori Panteleev. Panteleev trying to get by Hurd, but who lost his stick, but got in there to thwart him behind the cage. Here's Panteleev along the boards to the line. The drive by Copeland high and wide. It hit the glass. 1:50 to go. Arniel turning in his own zone, and he'll give it to Miles O'Connor. Kevin Grant. To O'Connor. And here is Mike Yeo through the neutral zone. Yeo will hit the line, trying to move around Freer. Yeo in there fighting for it, but Copeland swings that away with 1:29 to go. And looks like the Arrows are going to be winless in 3 unless they can really come up with 2 goals in a hurry. Dobson staying in the net right now. Here is Gord Dineen. Dineen for Copeland. Worked it along the near side, and here is Slivchenko. It came out in front, it was knocked away. Slivchenko trying to work it free. They battle for the loose puck. And Copeland wings it along the wall. Slivchenko pumped it out in front. Here's a chance for Archibald. Clear to the line, not out. And Dobson has come to the bench for the final minute. Arrows need 2 goals, extra attacker. Here's Laniel in behind the net for Houston. Centered in front. Townshend bangs away at it. Nearly knocked that in the net. It's cleared by Utah, and it got by Yeo, but Yeo has Alan May locked up, and then May scores free, shoots and scores. A goal, and it's 4-1 Utah.
Well, I think that'll do it, Adam, as Alan May picks up his 4th goal as a Grizzly, but his 9th goal of the season on an empty netter. And the Arrows just waited a little too long and, you know, didn't get the breaks. They needed a couple breaks. Of course, that early goal on the breakaway, the 5-on-3 goal, and then the break that they didn't get in the 3rd period was the crossbar from Hurd, and also that goal that was disallowed, that was actually a goal. But Mike Yo's just beat to the puck a little bit as Alan May chops away and finally gets a hold of the puck, and he's got nothing but an open net to shoot at, and he makes it count. It's 4-1 Grizzlies with 35 seconds left.
Jenks shoots it into the zone, and it's 4-1 Utah with 30 seconds to go. Puck is jammed away and cleared out at center ice. Jakes turning in neutral ice. He'll fire it into the Utah Grizzlies zone. Here's Marc Lamb right side. Sends one out in front. Kelly Hurd shooting. McLennan kicked that aside with 18 seconds left. Lievers worked one ahead, and here is Marc Lamb. Lamb turning in his own zone. He will move it up and out at center ice. Lamb across the ice for Townshend. Townshend getting set, and that is the hockey game. As the horn sounds, and the Utah Grizzlies have won their 4th game in a row. They are now 25-2 at the Delta Center and 30-11-2 overall with 62 points, 5 back of Las Vegas, while the Arrows slipped to 15-29-4. They remain at 34 points, 5 back of Atlanta, who are at home hosting the San Francisco Spiders. So the Arrows obviously not gaining any ground, and a tough loss for them tonight. The final score, the Utah Grizzlies 4, the Houston Arrows 1, and when we return, we'll have our post-game festivities right after this. Back in the Delta Center, Adam Gordon along with Mike Greenley, a 4-1 final in favor of the Utah Grizzlies, and it's time for our Southwest Airlines Just Plain Smart play of the game. And it was the goal that was not, if you will, Greener.
Well, the good work by Conroy in front. He chips it through. The referee's on the other side. He can't see it, but Arniel does poke the puck in. McLennan never had control of it. It dropped down behind him, and Arniel really gets the goal, but it's disallowed right away. And that's a tough break for the Houston Aeros, and right before that, Hurd hit the crossbar. I mean, it could have very easily been a tied game at that point.
Oh, yeah, the Aeros had their chances in this hockey game, especially in the third period. We should give credit. We should give credit to the Houston Aeros for coming back. I mean, when you're down like that.